Hey everybody, John here with the Gletch Group. So excited to share today's blog post with you, which is really about setting New Year's resolutions that are going to work, that's actually going to succeed. But before I go into my 3 tips on how to do this, let me tease this. I've got a little goal setting workbook here. It's called Your Best Year Ever, Living Your Best Year Ever by my friend Darren Hardy. It's my mentor, and he has created this incredible book that helps you go step by step through a system to set and achieve amazing and big goals. And so I'm going to give one of these away. It's like a $80 book, and it's got an audio program associated with it. It's fantastic. I use it every single year, and I'd love to give one of these away to whoever. We'll just pick somebody randomly out of the comments. So love to hear your comments about some resolutions you're making after the tips here at the end, and then we will pull somebody out of that hat. So to the tips. First tip I want to share with you is setting goals for things you are unlikely to succeed at. This is a friend of mine named Charlie, told me this years ago, and I've never forgot it. He said, John, you're going to be good at like business just because you're like awake that day. That's just something I'm naturally good at. I've always enjoyed it. And it's something that I don't have to try super hard at. And he said, you should set goals for things that you're unlikely to be successful at. And I've always thought that was really good advice. And so my goals tend to be more about things that I don't have a ton of experience at. Like, for example, I always have a marriage goal of connecting more to my wife, having a more intimate relationship with her, with my kids. I've never done this. I've never been a dad. I've never been a husband, and I don't have a ton of experience. And so I set my goals typically more around those type of things. So I do have a tip here at the end for the more traditional goals, income setting, that kind of stuff. But I wanted to share what I do to successfully set those goals for things that are a little harder to measure. Like, how do you know if you're a better husband at the end of the year? How do you know if you've made a stronger connection to your wife, or you're more connected and you have a greater friendship with your kids? Like, those are really important goals. I think most people have some level of desire for that, but how do you know? How do you get there, and how do you quantify it? So I want to share with you my process for how to achieve those kind of touchy-feely goals. And there's a couple things we do, but one of them that I have found to be the most helpful and successful is to quantify specific aspects of those relationships. This will sound a little nerdy, but trust me, it works. It's really helpful. And so I'm gonna give you a peek into exactly what I do. Every night, I have this little Google Doc that pops up on my phone, and it's a series of questions that I've designed for myself. I got this idea from a book called Triggers, which I recommend. It's a book about habit formation. You can check that out. And here's what I do. The phone reminds me, hey, it's time to answer your nightly questions, I call them. And these are just questions that I'm scoring myself on how hard did I try to do certain things that I have deemed to be important in caring for my wife and my family. So here, I'm gonna give you a peek into some of the questions specifically. You can take a look at these things. So, okay, the first one, and this is just a few, I have like 20, but if you wanna do this, start with 1 or 2 or whatever's exciting for you. But did I prioritize Bryn? Did I say yes to helping her? So one of the things I found that really caused her to feel loved and cared for is if when she asked me to do something, I say yes. I do it right away, and I'm very helpful, and I'm not like, oh, I'll do it some other time. And so what I'm asking myself every night is from 1 to 10, how hard did I try? And that's the way I phrase this, and that's what I got from that book, Triggers. But how hard did I try to prioritize Bryn, to say yes when she wanted me to help her? And I just score myself from 1 to 10. Next question, be fully engaged with Bryn and the kids at home. So so easy to be distracted on your phone, watching TV, whatever, doing the laundry. You're not really focused, you're not really present. When you are at home, you're not really there. And so this for me is, was I fully engaged? Was I paying attention? Did I care? Or was I on my phone and distracted and sending emails? Like, if I'm home, I want to be home. And so I'm asking that question, how hard did you try today from 1 to 10 to be fully present and engaged when you were at home? Next one, did Bryn get the best of me and my kids my second best? So I'm framing this with the idea that I don't want work to get the best of me. I want my wife and my kids to get the very best of me. And so often it's the opposite, right? The best we have shows up at work. We're fresh in the morning, working hard, going out and killing it every day. And then we get home and we're kind of falling apart, and we're not very excited. We're not very happy. I don't want that to be the case. I want my kids to get the best of me and my wife to get the best of me. And so I try really hard in the morning to be excited and present, and we have kind of a plan in the morning, and when I get home, have some specific things I do to make sure that I'm giving them everything I have. They're not getting the second best of me. And then detach from the desire to be powerful, control. That's another one for me. It's like, I don't want to always have to be in charge and control everything. That's just one personally for me that I kind of find myself falling into from time to time. And so it's a reminder for me to kind of get out of that mode. And so I've got all these questions, but at the end of the day, I just wanted to suggest it to you as an idea for maybe you set a goal this year, a New Year's resolution for something that's a little less quantifiable, and this is a way to quantify it. And I just kind of every single day, no one's like judging me on how I score, but it's a way for me to personally not forget the things I'm trying to focus on every day. So it's really, really helpful. Now I do have one tip for those among you who want to set a more traditional goal, like maybe you have an income goal, and I'll talk about how we do that at the Glutch Group. So we consider how many homes we sell, how many families we help, to be a reflection of how good a job we're doing, right? If we're not incredible at what we do, if we're not serving our clients well, no one's gonna hire us, right? So we do care whether or not we help sell houses, right? So that's a big thing to us. But what we don't wanna do is have our goal be sell X houses or make X money. You know, if you don't own your own business, you've got to, you work for somebody. I would reframe it from receiving to giving, right? So what do I have to give in order to get to where I want to go? So for us, the things that we do when we measure at the Glutch Group are all really specific numbers that are just pure reflection of how well do we serve people. So like reviews would be an easy example of that, right? Like how many 5-star reviews did we get? If we're not serving people at a very high level, we're not going to get those reviews. So we don't focus on go get a lot of reviews. Like we measure that, but the thing we're talking about is doing the stuff required to get the good reviews. So, showing up on time, how quickly are we answering the phone, how quickly do we get back to emails, how hard are we working to find people houses when they have criteria that are very difficult. So those are the activities we're focusing on. So like a personal example would be, I don't have an income goal. I'm not like trying to make a certain amount of money, but I do have a giving goal. So each year I want to give away 1.5% more than I did last year, right? So like ancient tradition, the tithe, right? And most religions have some version of we're going to give away 10% of our money to those less fortunate, to the church. And so that's great. I think that's a wonderful place, but I just found that my heart is more alive when I'm focused on giving. And if I can ratchet that up every year, that's exciting. So making more money, that's fine, sure. I'd be lying if that's not exciting or fun. But more fun is thinking about, could I give 1.5% more next year than I did this year? So every year, Bryn and I just kind of notch that up. And we want to get to a point where we're in life able to live on much, much less than we're earning. And we could be giving away a majority of our income to those who are less fortunate. And so that for us is very life-giving and fun. And so instead of setting an income goal, we would set a giving goal. So just a couple twists on what you might focus on for your goal setting next year. So hopefully this is helpful. And in your next year's goal setting, we would love if we could be a part of that. I'd love to hear what it is that you're setting. So in the comments below, what are your goals? What's 1 or 2 exciting goals you'd love to share with us? And again, we'll just kind of pull out of the comments somebody at random and give away this wonderful resource from my friend Darren Hardy. It's so helpful. I use it every year. You're going to love it. So join us, and I'll put a link too down in the comments for how to get this book if you just want to pick one up yourself. I highly recommend it. Okay, thanks. Have a great year. Look forward to hearing about all your great goals. See ya.